But radical Islam could have been one of the reasons. But was radical Islam one of them? If you think among those variety of reasons, radical Islam might have been one of the reasons that the individuals took the steps that they did.
We see, you say radical Islam. I mean, I think those people who espouse a version of Islam that is not...
Are you uncomfortable attributing any of their actions to radical Islam? It sounds like
No, I don't want to say anything negative about a religion that is not appropriate.
I'm not talking about a religion.
Like
I'm talking about radical Islam. Radical Islam. Radical Islam. I'm not talking about the general religion.
Right, and I'm saying that a person like Anwar Alaki, for instance, who has a version of Islam that is not consistent with the teachings of it, and who espouses a radical version.
Could radical Islam have motivated these individuals to take the steps that they did?
I certainly think that it's possible that people who espouse a radical version of Islam have had an ability to have an impact on people like Mr. Shahzad.
Okay, and could it have been the case in one of these three instances?
Could that have been the case?
Yeah, could one of these three individuals have been incited by radical Islam?
Well, I think potentially incited by people who have a view of Islam that is inconsistent with the teachings.
Mr. A.J., it's hard to get an answer, yes or no.
Here with me now to talk about it, Alan Colmes, host of The Alan Colmes Show. Alan, why not just say it?
Why is Congressman Lamar Smith so insistent that he has to say, follow the script and use, you've got to say these words? Why is he so insistent to use the name of a religion?
Answer my question. Why? Why would he rather stick a hot poker in his eye than say it may be?
Because there's no such thing as radical Islam. It's not Islam. It is not part of the religion. People are not doing this in the name of true Islam. What would you?
No one's saying they're doing it in the name of true Islam.
Why don't we say that when somebody bombs an abortion clinic, or Scott Roeder, who kills an abortion doctor, is radical Christianity? Why isn't there a great movement to say, you got to call it radical Christianity? Why isn't that referred to as radical Christianity?
Alan, you are
when people do things in the name of Jesus.
Why don't you answer my question? What's wrong with saying, there's no question that there is such a thing as radical Islam. It's not Islam. As Lamar Smith was pointing out, it's not Islam. No one's condemning Islam.
Then don't use the word.
Radical Islam.
It's not Islam. Any more than killing an abortion doctor. Megan, let me finish my sentence.
Okay, go ahead.
It is not Islam any more than killing an abortion doctor is Christianity. So to attach the words of those religions to that act is wrong.
I see. Okay, so we shouldn't acknowledge that the people who killed 3,000 Americans on 9/11 were radical Islam.
They're not Islamic. They're not acting according to Islamic doctrine. So to call them Islamic is wrong.
I see. So it's propaganda.
Any more than someone who's shooting an abortion.
It's unfair to the terrorists.
Or any more than someone shooting an abortion doctor is acting as a Christian, even though they call it. Is Fred Phelps a Christian, even though he calls himself a Christian? They're crazy.
If you should never use that term, then why do we see others in the administration using that term? It's not a term that's banned all the
administration. I don't speak for others in the administration. I speak for myself. I agree that Attorney General Holder, that using the term Islam. Look, we have soldiers, American men and women, dying in Islamic countries to help people of the Muslim faith. People are dying in Iraq. We have people dying in Afghanistan. We now have to rebuild Iraq, which is now in a Muslim country, something that wasn't under Saddam Hussein, and we should not be renouncing an entire religion.
We're not. How is acknowledging? Well, let me ask my question.
Yeah.
How is acknowledging what the true ideology of those who are behind these attacks in any way affecting our relationship with actual Muslims and people who are true followers of Islam? Even they would condemn these radicals.
Because you're using the wrong word. Label the ideology by attaching the word Islam to it. It is not Islam.
That's what they believe. They say hey, they follow a form of radical Islam. They're the ones who say, you reject what they say. Americans.
I'm all about not smearing a religion in the name of trying to put
How
forth
is calling radical Islamists smearing
I will answer
Islam?
you again. It is not Islam. It is attaching the word Islam to something that does not represent the religion. Phelps says he's a Christian, is he?
So what?
Is he?
Who are we to say he's not some radical version of Christianity that he says he follows?
We got to call these people who bomb abortion clinics Christians. We have to make sure we get that word Christian in there, just like Lamar Smith was foaming at the mouth to get the Attorney General to use the word Islam. It's religious bigotry.
This extreme form of Islam Islam is at the very heart of what they do and why they hate us.
Islam.
It's relevant to the debate.
Megan, this is a political ideology, not a religious ideology.
What?
They are attacking us on political grounds, not religious grounds. They're misusing Islam, and to use the word Islam to try to apply to them because it satisfies our need to demonize a religion is absolutely wrong and bigoted. Why are we so hung up on words? Why is that so important?
Because words matter, Alan.
Because we want to use the word Islam to smear people. That's why. And we didn't know it was terror until we got the information in. How about waiting till we know the facts before we start using it?
But we know now. Eric Holder's the one who says it's the Pakistani Taliban.
All right. Now we have information. At first we did not.
He knew when he was testifying.
Because when you get the information, that's when you come forth with the proper language.
So when President Bush said it's radical Islam behind 9/11, he was smearing radical. He was smearing Muslims.
Actually, George W. Bush was very good about not using that term.
Okay.
George W. Bush actually went out of his way.
But anybody who says radical Islam, they're smearing.
To his credit, George W. Bush did not like the use of that term.
All right, well, you heard it here first. If you use the term radical Islam, you're smearing and you're apparently a bigot.